Imagine this. How many times have you found yourself wondering why some men seem to have a natural magnet that attracts women, while others struggle to get any attention? And what would you say if I told you that there is a set of feminine weaknesses that, when understood and applied, can completely change the way you're perceived? The good news is that today, I will reveal these weaknesses in a practical and natural way so that you become the man she truly desires. But before I share this transformative knowledge, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. This way, you won't miss any future videos, and you'll help YouTube understand that this is high-value content, recommending it to more men who need this knowledge. Remember, when you do good, it comes back to you double. My friend, let's get straight to the point. The first weakness of a woman, what makes her fall head over heels, is simply a guy who has good talk. That's right, a guy who can talk in a magnetic, captivating, effortless manner, without stuttering, without hesitation. A guy who can start a conversation, keep it flowing, touch the right points, and make her feel that thrill. That feeling of, wow, this guy is different. Let's be honest, most guys just freeze when they meet a beautiful woman. They stand there, nervous, weighing their words, afraid of saying something stupid. And then, my friend, it's all over. Because while you're there all shy, worrying about what she thinks, along comes a guy with ease, a smile on his face, good conversation, and already captures her attention. Why? Because that guy can trigger emotions. A woman doesn't fall in love with logic, she falls in love with feelings. She needs to feel something when talking to you. If the conversation is lukewarm, if it's just a simple exchange of sentences without emotion, without highs and lows, she'll forget about you in 5 minutes. But if you make her laugh, if you provoke, if you create that pleasant wordplay, that engaging exchange, that's it. You'll stay in her memory. And here's the big trick. You don't have to be a poet, a romance writer, or a stand-up comedian. You just need to be spontaneous and confident. That's what it's about. Talk as if you were chatting with a friend, without fear, without insecurity. The problem with many guys is that they put the woman on a pedestal. Oh, she's too beautiful for me. Once you think that, you've already lost. Because that energy of inferiority comes to the surface. A woman senses it from afar. What do you need to do? Treat every woman, whether she's a beauty queen or not, the same. Naturally. Approach lightly, calmly, speaking without obligations, not showing that you desperately want her attention. A guy who can do that is already light years ahead, because most just tremble and throw out a, "Hi, what's up?" not knowing what to say next. Now, an important detail. It's not about memorizing ready-made phrases. It's about being comfortable in your own skin and knowing that any conversation can be interesting if you know how to guide it. Ask questions that deviate from the mundane, play with her answers, provoke a little, create an atmosphere of curiosity. The secret lies in keeping her engaged in the conversation. And here comes the part that few talk about. You need to practice. You won't become a good conversationalist overnight out of nowhere. You need to train. You need to talk to everyone, not just beautiful women. Start a conversation in a store, in line at the bank, at the gym, with the waitress at the cafe. Get used to expressing yourself, to improvisation, to keeping a conversation going. When that happens, it will flow naturally. And then, my friend, when you finally have this skill on autopilot, rest assured, every woman will feel your presence differently, because you won't just be another nervous guy trying to impress. All right, my friend, the second weakness that women simply can't resist in a man is a good sense of humor. And look, I'm not saying you need to be a comedian, nor that guy who constantly jokes to get attention. What really attracts a woman is a man who can handle life lightly, who has a pleasant presence, and can turn any conversation into something interesting and engaging. Psychology explains it simply. People are drawn to what generates positive emotions. When you have a natural sense of humor, when you can make a woman smile and feel good in your company, you create a powerful connection. Emotions are what make someone remember you, and a man who can evoke good feelings has a huge advantage. Now, a very important detail. Having a good sense of humor is not about acting forced or constantly trying to be funny. The secret lies in balance. You don't have to be the most extroverted guy in the group, but you also can't be the one who looks like they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. And look, I say this because I had an experience that showed me how much a good sense of humor makes a difference. There was a time when I really liked a certain woman, but I was more shy. I wanted to get closer, talk, show interest, but I ended up standing on the sidelines just watching. Then another guy came along, started talking to her, joked, lightly provoked, and quickly caught her attention. Now look, it doesn't mean he was more of a man than I was. It doesn't mean he was better than me as a person. It just means that at that moment he had the initiative to act, while I waited for the perfect opportunity that never came. And that's the big issue. Women are attracted to men who can position themselves confidently and lightly at the same time. If you're too tense, worried about every word, afraid to make a mistake, your energy permeates and doesn't generate attraction. But when you can be natural, joke a bit, show that you're comfortable with yourself, everything changes. And here's a valuable tip. Having a good sense of humor doesn't mean being overly animated or seeking approval. Quite the opposite. It means you're at ease with yourself, that you don't need to prove anything to anyone, and that you can find lightness in any situation. If you learn to balance this trait, you can be sure women will notice this difference, because the world is full of tense, insecure guys who can't express themselves lightly. And the one who can bring positive energy without exaggeration always stands out. Now, before we move on, I want to present you with the greatest opportunity, the skill you urgently need to learn. Otherwise, you'll miss the chances that arise with women. And I know well that when you walk down the street or enter a supermarket, pharmacy, gym, or shopping mall, you exchange glances with one or more women, and they awaken in you a desire. And you feel that urge to approach, but you don't know how, and feel embarrassed, right? But my friend, here's the solution I've prepared for you. Imagine having an ebook that teaches you this in a natural and pressure-free way. In this book, you'll learn to approach women with confidence, knowing exactly what to say, and of course with ease and naturalness. You'll learn how to make her feel comfortable, create natural attraction, intimacy, and most importantly, spark her desire in a short time. What once seemed impossible now becomes completely possible. In just 60 minutes or even less, you can go from zero to a kiss, and even more with a woman, using the valuable content you'll find in the ebook I've created for you. You will never miss those opportunities with women who interest you again. And one more thing. Once acquired, this wisdom will be yours forever. It will remain in your mind, becoming a part of who you are. If I were you, I wouldn't miss this opportunity. The ebook is pinned in the comments, just waiting for you. Don't miss this chance, because it may not be available for long, as I've already mentioned. Take advantage of it, because now is the time to achieve positive results with women. So seize this opportunity, because later it will be too late, and you need to urgently get ahead of the competition. And with this ebook, success with women is guaranteed for you. So don't waste time. Continuing the content, the third weakness that women simply can't resist in a man is a guy who knows how to have good confidence. And look, when I talk about confidence, I'm not just talking about physical touch itself, but about the attitude, presence, assurance, and security that you convey. Because a man who can lead an interaction with confidence and respect is a man who naturally sparks desire. Now let me tell you a real experience so you can understand how this works in practice. Some time ago, I was talking to a girl. She was already showing interest in me, and I was interested in her. The connection was flowing well. The conversation was engaging, and at one point, she herself invited me to a meeting in the park. Now, pay attention. This was already a clear signal that she wanted to be close to me. And as a guy who always tries to analyze and understand signals, I knew how to seize the opportunity. During the conversation, I generated emotional peaks, created a comfortable, light, yet engaging environment. Gradually, I noticed that our closeness naturally increased. And then, before even reaching the first kiss, I did something strategic. I took her hand, placed my hand on hers, and held it with confidence and gentleness at the same time. What happened at that moment? I saw in her eyes the impact of that gesture. She felt even more connected, more engaged, because it showed my security and presence. And this is exactly where many guys go wrong. Either they are too insecure and wait for the woman to make all the initiatives, or they act too hastily and out of sync with the moment. The balance lies in the ability to perceive signals, understanding when and how to act naturally and respectfully. So why does good confidence make a woman desire a man even more? Because it conveys assurance. A woman wants to feel that she is beside a man who knows what he is doing, who has confidence, and doesn't hesitate to act. Because it generates an emotional and physical connection. Touch, when done well, evokes deep sensations. A simple gesture can convey much more than words, because it sets you apart from most. Many men cannot handle body language. They are either cold and distant or try to act out of context. A man who can read the right moment and act naturally stands out. Now the key point, everything must be done with respect and perception. You must understand the woman's space and reciprocity. If she gives you freedom, shows comfort and interest, it's important that you also have the initiative needed to lead the interaction further. But if you hesitate for too long, if you always wait for her to make all the decisions, she might lose interest. After all, a man who can lead the moment with ease and confidence creates a much greater impression. And now in fourth place, my friend, comes one of the most powerful pillars that make women unable to resist a man: masculinity. And look, when I talk about masculinity, I'm not talking about stereotypes or acting in a forced way. It's not about being rude, aggressive, or trying to impose oneself by shouting. True masculinity lies in your energy, attitude, and the way you lead your life. Now, why are women naturally attracted to men who exude masculinity? The answer lies in nature itself, in the animal kingdom. If you observe tigers, lions, wolves, and even birds, you'll notice that females always gravitate towards the strongest, most confident, and leaders. And I'm not just talking about physical strength, but about attitude, disposition, and presence. A lion, for example, doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. He is simply the king of the jungle. His presence commands respect. He walks calmly, observes, and acts at the right moment. Females instinctively recognize this. Now, look at the opposite. An insecure lion, hesitating, showing weakness, not leading. He will never be the choice of females. And in the human world, it's no different. Women can sense when a man carries authentic masculine energy. They perceive it in your gaze, in your tone of voice, in the way you act in the face of challenges. Now, pay attention to a key detail. Masculinity is not about dominating anyone. It's about leading yourself. A truly masculine man doesn't need to convince anyone that he's masculine. He simply shows it through his actions. And here are some traits that are part of irresistible masculinity: confidence and stability. A masculine man is not driven by uncontrolled emotions. He has self-control, can make decisions without breaking down in the face of any obstacle. This conveys a sense of protection that naturally attracts. Purpose and direction. Women are strongly attracted to men who know what they want from life. A man who has a purpose, who pursues his goals without relying on external approval, exudes masculinity. Leadership energy. And here, it's not about ruling others, but about having control over your own path. A man who can lead himself automatically becomes a point of reference. Ability to protect. This doesn't mean being aggressive or brutal, but rather conveying an energy of protection, safety, and trust. When a woman feels she can trust a man, the attraction intensifies. Now, what weakens masculinity? Being emotionally dependent and constantly seeking approval. If you need others to validate who you are, you've already lost. Being emotionally unstable. If any difficulty destabilizes you, you're showing weakness. Avoiding responsibility. A real man takes ownership of his choices and acts to solve his problems, instead of blaming others. So, my friend, if you want to become a truly masculine man, the key lies in your attitude, mindset, and energy. True masculinity doesn't need to be expressed in words. It's felt. And certainly now, in fifth place, my friend, the fifth thing that women can't resist in a man is simply a guy who has ambition. And why are women so attracted to these guys? You might think, oh, it's because that guy has money, success, status. And look, being realistic, in many cases that's true. Many women see an ambitious guy and think, this guy can provide me with a good life. If he hasn't reached the top yet, he will, and I made the right choice being with him. And what about the opposite of that? A guy who lacks ambition, who lives in the comfort zone. A woman may be interested initially, may feel a temporary attraction, but over time, if she's a woman with a growth mindset, she'll lose interest. Because the truth is simple. A man without ambition doesn't want to develop, doesn't want to grow, and that leads to stagnation. Now think with me. A guy who has ambition, who wants to improve his life, whether financially, physically, or mentally, is a guy who automatically stands out. And not just because of the achievements he may gain, but because of the energy, mindset, and attitude of always wanting more. And you might think, oh, but that's wrong. Women should be attracted to all kinds of guys. Guy, reality doesn't work like that. Female biology is designed to seek the best. It's natural. But that doesn't mean an ambitious guy should accept every woman. If you become the best version of yourself, the woman who wants to be with you must also bring value. The game is this. If you want the best, you have to be the best. So if you're already an ambitious guy, you're already ahead of 90% of guys who live in the comfort zone, who accept whatever, who don't strive for development. And you can be sure, comfort doesn't take anyone far. Now be careful. If this content adds value to you, already comment below, I belong to the 1%. I want to see who is truly committed to this mindset. And of course, I will like and respond to your comment. And take the opportunity to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and download the ebook, because inside you'll find powerful content that will help you have new options and attract the right women into your life. And finally, in sixth place, my friend, what women can't resist in a man is simply an unattached guy. And before everything, if you want a second part of this content, already comment here. I want the second part. Leave your comment, because if there is a lot of engagement, I will bring more insights for you. But getting back to the point, being unattached doesn't mean you don't care about anything or that you act coldly. It means you don't put a woman above yourself. And I know, guy, I really know how frustrating it can be when you're interested in a woman. She shows reciprocity and then suddenly disappears or starts treating you differently. It has happened to me. I was interested in a girl. She showed interest. We were together, and after a while, she completely changed. When I noticed her vibe had changed, I sent a message and she responded coldly, saying she wasn't mad, but she just didn't want to talk to me anymore. And at that moment, I could have done what most guys do. Insist, ask, try to understand the reason. But no, I was simply unattached. Why? Because I had options. Because I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. Because I wasn't going to waste time with someone who was no longer interested. So instead of chasing after her, I just continued with my life. And guess what? After some time, she came back to me. Do you know why? Because she realized I wasn't like most guys who panic when a woman changes behavior. She was playing, testing, and saw I didn't fall into the trap. Now it's worth noting, a woman won't always come back, and it doesn't matter. The point here is, you need to be a balanced guy, focused on yourself, on your values and goals. Men who are emotionally stable and who don't show neediness are seen as the most demanding and interesting. So, my friend, if you know you didn't do anything wrong, respect yourself, let go, and continue your development. Because when you become the best version of yourself, women automatically see you as a high-value guy. And now, if this content added value to you, already subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and download your ebook. Because inside, you'll find more insights that will change your mindset and your options with women. We're together. Until the next video.